Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today, to try to stay up to date for a change, I'm going to talk to you about 3 movies I've watched recently. That is a Minecraft movie, Your Monster and Death of a Unicorn. So welcome back guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. Several videos in one week. I don't know. So I'm going to talk about these 3 movies because I've watched them quite recently. I thought I'm going to try and do a video more regular and talk about less movies, but as I've said before, I do log everything on Letterboxd. Although I don't tend to review movies on Letterboxd, I do rate them out of 5. So all the details of my Letterboxd are below. So if you're curious about what I'm watching or what I thought of it, you can check it out down there. If there is ever a movie that you would like me to review on the channel that I haven't spoken about, just drop it in the comments and I shall get to it for you. So let's kick off with Your Monster first, which I watched on the 3rd of April. Right, so Your Monster, I didn't know an awful lot about this. I heard Emma on the Spooky Astronaut channel speaking about this. It stars Melissa Pereira, Tommy Dewey, Edmund Donovan and Kayla Foster amongst others. So this follows a young aspiring actress who's living with her writer boyfriend. He writes stage plays, they're working on one together, have been for a few years, and right at the beginning of this movie the relationship breaks down. He breaks up with her, he moves out, she's devastated. So we start this movie basically with her doing the usual things, eating too much ice cream, being devastated, crying all the time. Her relationship's over and we're just along with her for the ride. Now, if you know me at all, you'll be thinking, Lisa, is this a romance movie? What are you doing? You don't like romance movies? You would be right. I actually really enjoyed this movie because of where it went. Now, Your Monster, where does that come in? This is a comedy romance horror. So you've got 2 things there I generally don't like. One of them's romance and the other is comedy horror. I won't say I don't like comedy horror, I just feel it's very hard to get right. I tend to prefer my horror to be quite extreme, to be quite brutal, to be quite scary. I do occasionally, Shaun of the Dead's an example, some comedy horror is fantastic, but it's hard to get the balance right in my opinion. So in Your Monster, the character Laura is trying to get over the breakup with her boyfriend, and someone she hasn't seen in many years, her monster from her closet or under her bed, reappears in her life and weirdly helps her through this stage of grief in the fact that she has lost her partner. A lot happens from that point on, which I won't spoil, but this, believe it or not, is a romance story between Laura and the monster in her closet, who, might I add, is a much better choice than her ex-boyfriend. I don't know what is wrong with me. I found the monster very attractive, it has to be said. It probably helped that he had very long flowing hair. So this movie is very sweet. There are scenes in it that are really heartfelt. I don't tend to enjoy romance movies, as I've said several times. I don't mind them if they're part of a bigger story with something else going on, they're a bit different, but I'm not a rom-com fan, I'm not a romance fan. I like really old movies, like I like Sleepless in Seattle, things like that. But more recent, it's just not my bag. But this was so different. It was so totally up my street. I'm not going to say it's an amazing movie, rush out and watch it, but I am saying it appealed to me because unlike many other movies, I did find the leading male character quite appealing, it has to be said, and that's unusual for me. I have very odd taste, but what can I say? So yeah, Your Monster, thumbs up from me. Out of 5, I rated that a 3.5, believe it or not. So on to the next one, Death of a Unicorn. So we've got Paul Rudd, we have, I'm going to do a Jamie, I'm going to forget what her name is, I've done it, Jenna Ortega, we have Richard E. Grant, we have Tia Leone, and I've forgotten the other guy's name. I'm sure you all know who's in the movie. So I saw this trailer quite a while ago at the cinema and I thought it looked fabulous. This is a story about Paul Rudd's character, who is the father to Jenna Ortega's character, who's playing the same character again, sullen, slightly alternative, moody teenager. Her and her dad's relationship isn't the best. They don't dislike each other per se, but they're not a close father-daughter. She has lost her mom. He's got her in the car. They're going away to do some work that he has. So they're going to the home of a very rich ill man, Richard E. Grant, who's married to Tia Leone. His son lives there also, which is the name that I cannot remember. Shall I go back and get it for you? So it's Will Poulter. I should have known that name. He's from that Son of Rambo, isn't he? Years ago. Is it Rambo? Rambo, can't remember. So Paul Rudd's character is on his way to this house he's a solicitor. He is going to do a deal with Richard E. Grant's character for this big thing he's got coming up. On the way, they hit a unicorn. I'm not going to spoil the story. That's pretty obvious. We have the title of the movie. But things are not what they seem, and these unicorns could indeed be magical, and they could harness within them a lot of powers that are very advantageous and useful to humans, and an awful lot of money could be made. So this movie follows people that are maybe a little bit unscrupulous, that don't care about the animals, that are looking at the potential money that can be made, the advances in medicine that can be made. And Jenna Ortega is obviously the other end of the spectrum, being that quite alternative, animal loving, person. And she's trying to bring her dad round to her way of thinking. They're pretty much at odds. He sort of wants to be successful, make money, look after his daughter. Richard E. Grant's character is just interested in self-advancement, improvement and riches. And obviously Jenna Ortega is on the other end of the spectrum. She cares about the animals. So I'm not hearing the best reviews for this one. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny in places, not massively hard. The deaths in this are really funny, that are inflicted by the unicorns. You think of a unicorn as a mythical, magical, gentle, beautiful creature, but in this, they have a pretty nasty side, and I don't blame them. They've been messed with severely. So yeah, the deaths in this are the best part of the movie. It is very tongue-in-cheek. It's not to be taken seriously. The effects when it comes to the deaths are pretty gory and realistic, but the unicorns themselves most certainly aren't. They're CGI. But if you can get on board with that and it doesn't annoy you too much, I think this is a fun watch. It's not going to blow anything out of the water. It's not going to be one of this year's best horrors by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. I gave that a 3.5 out of 5 also. So that's 2 3.5 out of 5s. We're going quite well. Wait till you hear the next one. You may never watch my channel ever again. A Minecraft movie. So this is getting royally shit upon everywhere, isn't it? So my background in Minecraft, I have played it a couple of times, don't know very much about it. My son's a big fan of it and his friends. He sort of got me onto this, made me aware of it, made me watch a trailer for it. Him and his mates loved it. So when I saw the trailer, beforehand I had no interest, I'll be honest. When I saw the trailer, I thought, this looks like fun. And no, it wasn't because Jason Momoa was in it. So in this film, we have Jack Black playing Steve.
I am Steve.
My son made me get him a Steve figure with a Minecraft sword, and he's in love with it, and all his friends are jealous about it. Honestly. We follow several stories in this. One is Steve, Jack Black's character, who is in Minecraft world, or what do they call it? The underworld? The overworld, can't remember. Jason Momoa, who is like a washed up video games champion, who has his own little retro game store, who looks like an 80s wrestler in this. Very much, the tasseled pink jacket and stuff. Looks very dated, but I found his character really funny. We also follow a young lad and his sister who've moved to the area recently. He doesn't really fit in. He's one of these boy geniuses. So we follow those, and Danielle Brooks from Orange is the New Black's in this also. She doesn't have a massive part, but she's in it enough. So in this, I can't even really tell you what the plot is. Batshit crazy. It doesn't really tie together or make much sense, but I find this movie very funny. A lot of people, and for the reason that everyone else is hating it, Jack Black. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the whole Jack Black character, the over-the-top, zany. It's not really my bag generally, but in this, Steve, I just found his facial expressions and the way he acted and everything about his character in this really funny. Maybe I was just in the mood for that at the time, but I have a very juvenile, very childish sense of humour, and it completely appealed to me. I loved the really shit effects. Everything looks naff, but it's meant to, and I love that. I found Jason Momoa really self-depreciating, which I really enjoyed. Obviously, he's this massive sex symbol that, you know, women are falling at his feet, but he just plays such a ridiculous character in this. It was a joy to see him do something funny like this. Jack Black, as I say, Steve was just amazing. I loved the character Steve. I enjoyed the story, even though it was batshit crazy. I liked the really silly effects. I loved the fact that pretty much the entire soundtrack was rock music, so that's always going to get a thumbs up from me. Just give the kids more and more rock music in their ears. We'll maybe get more rock fans out there. But yeah, guys, I enjoyed Minecraft Movie and I gave it a 3 out of 5. I know that's not a popular opinion. I know most people are hating this, but it appealed to my stupid sense of humour. What can I say? So that's 3 pretty decent scores for Death of a Unicorn, Minecraft Movie, and Your Monster. Maybe I'm easily pleased right now, I don't know, but yeah, I was enjoying those. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed all 3 of them more than I did Anora. I can see that unsubscribe button being pressed, but there you go. So, and last week I told you I didn't think Snow White was all that bad either, so there's something not right with me. I'm not enjoying Oscar-worthy, highbrow stuff that everyone's absolutely loving, but I'm enjoying the stuff that everyone is saying is crap. So there you are, take of that what you will. So thank you for watching, guys. Let me know below if you've seen any of those 3 movies and what you thought. I can imagine that most of you thought that most of them were crap, but there you go. So I'm actually going to do another video after this today. I'm getting back to this little book. So if you are new, this is something I've been doing for quite a while. Some of these I've completed, some I haven't. This is basically a listography book of different lists. I do have a playlist if you ever want to look back at any. But the next video I shall be doing will be movie moments you wish you were an extra in. So that's going to be the next video, folks. I shall schedule it for a few days later so you don't get too much of my mug in the next couple of days. Thank you so much for watching. Over and out from Lisa Loves.